Hallelujah. Hallelujah. This is Caleb Jones, and this is the Alpha Male 2.0 podcast. Here we are once again, and today I'm going to tell you a story. It's a true story. Happened to me a few years ago. Not a long time ago, but a few years ago. And it's a dating story. So, standard Black Dragon online dating model. I was on a dating site, browsing around for women, sending out openers. I was on one of the old school sites, was not on a swipe app. And there was a particular woman that I saw a picture of, and it was one of those pictures where she had a few pictures, but in all the pictures, she only showed a portion of her face. She's probably worried about privacy or something. But most of the pictures showed the rest of her body, and her body was good. But I couldn't see her face. And normally, I don't know what I was thinking, because normally I just pass on those women. I need to see her face. I'm sorry. I show my face in all my online photos. You should show your face. So anyway, kind of hemmed and hawed for a minute and said, all right, I'll send her an opener. We'll see what happens. She also, by the way, had dark hair, which I don't like. Yes, I have dated and had sex with women who had very dark hair, who were very hot and or cute, but I prefer women with blonde hair. I'm a blonde guy. I'm a blondes guy. I don't know, Barbie blondes guy. So I'm like, but I don't know, I just did it. And she responded, and we had a quick back and forth. Standard Black Dragon operating model, few exchanges, set up the first date. We had a first date down in downtown Portland, where I was living at the time, and it was a standard coffee shop first date. So it was not a Starbucks, but it's one of those independent, cool little coffee shops they have in most cities. And it was in a trendy, cool part of town, which is standard Black Dragon dating model. You want to take her out on a first date. You do not want to buy her food. You do not want to go to a restaurant. You want to go somewhere very inexpensive, but a really cool part of town in a very cool place. My standard thing is the coolest bar in town, or one of the coolest bars in town. Buy her one drink, buy yourself one drink. That's it. That's the first date, 1 hour first date. And another way of doing that is a really cool coffee shop or a cool little deli where no one comes over and serves you. So this was a coffee shop, and it was a cool little coffee shop. Portland's actually good for that kind of thing. And so driving out there, and I'm like, man, am I wasting my time? I could be wasting my time. Because I've had these scenarios before a long time ago when I was still mastering these models, where, you know, you meet up with a woman and it's like, oh man, she's not hot at all. That sucks. And so you raise the odds of that happening when you don't see her entire face. But I have had 1 or 2 scenarios, that's probably what I was thinking, where I would meet up with a woman who showed half of her face or part of her face, and she ended up being really cute. So maybe I was thinking that. I don't remember what I was thinking exactly, why I agreed to this, but I agreed to it. So I parked and was walking a few blocks. It was one of those parts of town where you have to park on the street, parallel park. And we're texting, and I wanted to do the thing where she got there first and I would walk in. That's, again, first date technique. You want to arrive on the first date 2 or 3 or 4 minutes after she does. No more than that, because then you piss her off and that's rude. But you want to arrive after she does. But she didn't want to do that. She wanted to meet me on the corner of the coffee shop and then walk in together. That's fine. So it's nighttime. It was early evening. And so walking down the street, and I come across to the corner and I see someone standing with kind of a long jacket, and but she has blonde hair. So I'm thinking, well, that can't be her. The pictures I saw was a woman with brown hair, dark hair, frankly. And I walk up and she goes, hi, and she recognized me from my photos, and it's her. And immediately 2 things shoot into my eyeballs. Number 1, she is blonde. All right, cool. Number 2, she's hot. She's hot. She wasn't a 10, but she was hot. I'm like, oh, thank God. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Praise Jesus. A hot chick when you're not sure she's hot from online dating, which does happen sometimes. So great. And she's not tall. She's kind of short. I like little girls. I like women who are little. And so I'm all over it. So I'm like, hey, how are you? And she's has this big smile, and she just greets me, and she just, her face lights up, and just really bubbly personality. I'm like, oh, this is great, cool. So I gambled and I won. Well, at least so far. Let's see what happens. So we walk into the coffee shop, we sit down, And I don't think we actually ordered anything. So this is one of the many first dates I've had where $0 were spent. I'm not 100% sure on that. I should go back in my spreadsheets and look, but I'm pretty sure, I'm 90% sure she didn't order anything and I didn't order anything. We're just like, oh, I said, and I would always ask, do you want something? No, I'm good. And so we start talking. And standard Black Dragon first date, we talked for about an hour, and then I was out of there. And I do the standard model. I ask her questions about her life, and we start talking, and she starts asking questions about my life. She's actually really interested in what I do for a living, my different companies, and things like that. Even the Alpha Male 2.0 stuff, which I usually don't talk about on first dates, but I did because she seemed confident enough to handle it, and she was super interested in that. And she was kind of amazing. She was super impressive. This ended up being one of the most impressive first dates I've ever experienced. And I have been on a number of first dates that is well into the triple digits. I've been on more first dates than the average 10 men will ever go on in their entire lives. So I have a lot of experience with this and a lot of numbers and a lot of way of comparing the behaviors of different women on first dates. I am a first date, second date expert. It's part of what I teach. So she's super impressive. She is happy. She is smiling. She is intelligent. She is successful. I don't remember what she did for a living. She was in finance. She was in finance and she worked for some financial firm, not a bank, some financial house. I don't remember, again, this is a few years ago. I don't remember it exactly, but she was very intelligent. She was European and she had this accent that I could not place. And usually I'm pretty good at placing accents because I've been all over the world, but I could not place this accent. And later I discovered why. She told me why in this first date. She had grown up in 3-4 different countries throughout Eastern Europe, Croatia, Yugoslavia area, all over the place. So she had this weird accent that was kind of an amalgam of several different places. And because of her upbringing, she spoke 5 different languages. She was fluent in all 5. I actually made her say things in all 5 languages. Super impressive. Like, God damn. And she is not only intelligent and well-rounded and experienced, but she also had a lot of people skills. So she was very interested and she did a lot of techniques that I use on first dates. Asking questions based on the answers to those questions, really delving into certain topics about me and being interested in me. And the standard model is, if you want people to like you, and this is true, I've talked about this a lot, instead of trying to be interesting, you instead become interested. You let them talk and you ask questions about them. And one of the big first date techniques I have for first dates is you let the woman do 80% of the talking. If you let her do 80% of the talking, the odds of you getting laid go way up because several things. Number one, she will think you are interesting because you are interested. Number two, women process the world by talking. They need to talk, so you need to give them that opportunity to talk. That's also a relationship management technique, by the way. Let her talk. That's what women need to do. They need to talk shit out. And number three, if you only do 20% of the talking on a first date, the odds are much higher that you won't say anything that will break the deal with her. And that's what guys fucking do. They talk too much and you can say one thing on a first date where a woman who formerly liked you, was interested, goes, oh, okay, he said that, no, I'm out. So you don't want to say a lot of shit on the first date. But this was an exception to that. We were probably doing maybe 60-40. I was probably doing 40% of the talking because she asked me so many questions. And she would actually ask me about a lot of personality tests that I do in my consulting practice. And so I did one on her, and then she says, I want to do one on you. And she did one on me, which was really interesting, about you're on an island and there's a woman on the island, but there's another hot girl on another island, and you have a boat, and I forget the details. I should look this up because it was pretty interesting. And like, what do you do? And it was really cool. So just super amazing and impressive. And within 45 minutes of talking to this person, I was sitting there going, God damn, she is fucking amazing. I am falling in love with this woman right now. Not literally, not literally, not literally. Figuratively speaking, I'm like falling in love with this chick. Figuratively speaking, not literally. It takes me 6 months, 12 months, 2 years to fall in love with a woman. So I move very slowly in that area. But you get my point. Just super attractive, not just physically, but her personality and her demeanor and everything about her was just super amazing. And I'm just like, God damn, you are so attractive. Now, I have a lot of experience at first dates. I know how to be attracted to a woman on multiple levels without leaning forward and showing it like a beta going, you're so amazing. Yeah, I just love you. You're so hot. Oh, you're so impressive. That is so neat. I'm good at not doing that. I've had a lot of practice with being on first dates, and many first dates I've had with women who are super, super hot physically or cute, but super, super attractive in terms of their personality, or both. And she was both. So she was fucking amazing. She was super impressive. One of the most, literally one of the top, I don't know, certainly a top 10, maybe top 5 first dates I've ever had out of the bazillions I've had in my life. So at the end of the date, I walk my talk, I follow my own system. We wrapped it up at about an hour. And I'm walking out of there and I'm driving out of there going, God damn, fucking amazing. Okay, she could be an amazing, amazing MLTR. Amazing. I mean, God damn. I mean, who knows? Maybe even beyond an MLTR, but that's way too early to tell on a first date. And you don't want to get one-itis. You don't want to be a pussy about this stuff. And as usual, I was already dating 3 or 4 women at that time. So I'm not, riding all my hopes on her. I'm never dating less than 3 women. That's my standard model. And in the last 14 years, that 3 number has never dropped below 3. I think back then I was dating around 4, I want to say, maybe 4 or so. Yeah, about 4 women. So anyway, we meet up again and she comes right over to my house. Standard Black Dragon dating system. You go on a first date 1 hour and the second date she comes to your place. She came right over to my place. She was, if you want to know how old she was, I think she was 27, I want to say 27, which is a really, really, really good age. I've discussed that age before at my blogs. Age 27 is a really good age for a lot of things for women in terms of dating compatibility and long-term prospects, and old enough to not be stupid, but young enough to still not have a lot of ASD yet. As soon as they hit, between 31 and 33, the ASD spikes. So 27, 28, that's a really good age range for a number of reasons. So she comes over, we sit and talk a little bit on my couch, and once again, she's fucking amazing. And then we have sex. And I'm like, yee-hoo, this is gonna be great. So this is the standard thing. I think we were having sex within 1 hour and 20 minutes of FaceTime total. So 1 hour on the first date, 20 minutes on the second date, 0 money spent. Very standard for me, very normal. And so, we started having sex right there on the floor in my living room. This is before I was dating Pink Firefly, slightly before, because Pink Firefly's been around a while. But so normally what I used to do is I'd have some sex blankets, I'd throw them down the floor, and we'd have sex right in front of the fireplace. I generally do not like having sex with women the first time in my bed. I have done it, but I generally don't like it because I want to control that EFA for the long-term relationship. Anyway, topic for another time. You feel free to read my Black Dragon books. So calebjones.com or store.calebjones.com. All my books are there. So we have sex, and the sex sucked. It was terrible. The sex was awful. The way she moved didn't make any sense to me. The sounds she made sounded weird. When I got all of her clothing off, her body was not nearly as hot as I thought it would be. Hot to me. Now, body is very subjective. Most guys, or at least the plurality of men, tend to like curvy ass, curvy hips, big tits. She had a very trim, more athletic type body, which I'm not super into. I like little, tiny, skinny girls with big asses, big hips, and big boobs. That's what I like. She was more of the more athletic type, where she had kind of that longer torso, flat stomach, which was very hot. She was very physically fit, which is very hot. I'm not saying she wasn't attractive, but to me, it wasn't the great. Her boobs were just not the kind of boobs I like. So that was another problem. Just the whole vibe of the experience wasn't good. It just wasn't good. And I was surprised because she was so attractive, both physically in her face, at least, and in her personality. And we just didn't gel sexually at all. And at the end of the night, I'm kind of bummed out. I mean, I'm nice and polite. And we talked a little bit after having sex. And she left. And I'm like, God damn, that sucks. Now, I don't remember if I saw her again. I'm pretty sure I didn't. Maybe I saw her I think I saw her one more time sexually, just to see if maybe that was some weirdness on the first time, and we had a second experience. And based on my memory, the second experience wasn't any better. We just didn't gel sexually. We were not sexually compatible. Now, was that her fault? No. She did nothing wrong sexually. It wasn't like she was bad in bed, quote unquote. That wasn't the problem. And there was nothing wrong with her. Like I said, she was fucking amazing on many, many, many levels. One of the most amazing women I've been on a first date with. And I've been on a first date with a lot. So it was not her fault. Was it my fault? No. I've had a lot of sex, a lot of people, a lot of women over the past, 14, 15 years of my life. And I know how to make women feel good. You kind of have to maintain long-term non-monogamous relationships. So no. Now I fuck a very specific way. Everyone's different sexually. So, but no, it wasn't my fault. I didn't do anything wrong. It's just that the way in which we had sex with each other was different. What she liked and what she was kind of wired to do based on her personality and her preferences and her physical body type, I get in some cases, was different than what I was wired to like based on my preferences, my history, what I'm attracted to, what I'm not attracted to. These things just didn't click together. And after that second, third time, I never saw her again. I mean, we texted, we were friendly. Again, it wasn't her fault, but we just didn't gel. And I'm sure she felt that too. As a matter of fact, I know she felt it. She's a very intelligent, self-aware woman. So we just didn't click, but we clicked on every other level, just not sexually. And you need to understand that sexual compatibility is a core function of your long-term relationship life. Just because a woman is super hot to you, just because she is super fun and exciting and intelligent and engaging or happy or all these other positive qualities in terms of relationship, doesn't mean necessarily that she will be sexually compatible with you. Now, it also doesn't mean she won't be sexually compatible with you. You and I have had the experience, well, maybe you've had this experience if you're experienced with women, where you have been on a first date, second date with a woman you totally gelled with, totally amazing, and then you had sex with her, and that was amazing too. Yes, I've had that experience too with many different women, and maybe you have too, and you know how that feels. So it's not like her gelling with you emotionally in terms of her personality reduces the odds of her being sexually compatible. I'm just saying one has nothing to do with the other. It really has nothing to do with it. And I get questions from guys who say, there's this girl I'm dating, really like her, she's an FB or MLTR or what have you, and she's hot, she's fun, she's great, she's low drama, she's low jealousy, everything's perfect, but the sex sucks. She's boring, or she likes positions I don't like, or she can only come this really weird way that I have to do every time that's a pain in my ass, I don't want to do it, or she likes things in bed that I don't like that are huge turnoffs for me, or what have you. And you know what my answer is? Let her go. Have sex with women you like to have sex with. Sexual compatibility is very important. And by the way, sexual compatibility is important across the board among all the three relationship types we talk about here at Alpha Male 2.0. It doesn't matter if she's an FB, an MLTR, or an OLTR. In all three cases, even if she's just an FB, the sex better be something you like. And if it's not something you like, you're going to have to let her go. Now, let her go very nicely. Again, it's not her fault. And it's not your fault. It's just statistics. Statistically, you're going to run into women who aren't sexually compatible with you. Just like statistically, you're going to run into women who are amazingly sexually compatible with you. I'll talk about that in a second. But be aware that you shouldn't put up with someone who is not sexually compatible with you, even if she's perfect in every way. And this woman who I'm describing, and again, I only spent time with her 3 times, so who knows? Maybe she was a serial killer and I didn't know it, but I doubt it. But within those 3 times, she was not only great, she was amazingly great on all levels. Jealousy, low jealousy, low ASD. She was talking about non-monogamous relationships, like, oh, no problem. And she had done them before in the past, and she gets it, and probably because she's European, that helps. All these things, intelligent, spoke 5 languages, very engaging, and very happy, which is the number one thing I look for in women in terms of personality traits. Are they happy? I like happy people. I like happy women. I don't like pissed off, angry, jaded women, which is what the world is full of today. But the point is, one has nothing to do with the other. Now, let me give you the opposite example. Many years ago, went on an online first date, and she was a woman, younger girl. She was 23 at the time, and we met, same deal. We met at the Starbucks, and she was cute. And to be honest, she was on the low end of cute. Her face was on the low end of cute. Okay, I'll be honest with you. But her body was amazing. You know what I'm talking about. Used to call it butterface. Everything's hot but her face. So she wasn't ugly, but she was just borderline. She wasn't ugly, but she was borderline between cute and average, which is low for me. I like attractive women. But her body was just kicking. And her personality, not all that great. Matter of fact, not all that smart. I'll be honest with you. Kind of a bimbo. But very nice, very pleasant, was very interested in me. Everything's fine. And again, I look for happy. She was very happy. And so we started having sex, and the sex was fucking amazing. And she wasn't even that experienced. She really wasn't. It's just, in terms of compatibility, fucking amazing. And her body, fucking amazing. Exactly what I like. A little taller than I prefer. She was about 5'5". I like women who are I like short girls. I like 5'4" and below. 5'2" is great. 5'1" is amazing. You know, I like short women. So she was 5'5", which is fine. But other than that, god damn, body is fucking perfect. And the sex is amazing, even though her face is all right. And her personality is all right. She went on to be the longest contiguous FB I have ever had. So as you know, when you date women in non-monogamous relationships, FBs and MLTRs, they do what's called a listen fitty, and they go away after a while. They date a beta male to get their monogamy needs met. They get bored with the beta male, or the beta male cheats on them, or they get an alpha male 1.0 who cheats on them. They get pissed off and are bored. They leave, and then they come back to you. I have a 94% return rate for all women who have left me. And that maintains still to this day. That is a consistent percentage over the past 14, 15 years of my life. So, but that is a normal thing that happens. She became the longest contiguous, consistent FB who never left me. So I've had FBs and MLTRs that lasted longer than her, but I've never had someone in FB last as long as her consistently with no pauses in the relationship. It was 7 years, I believe. It might be 8 years, but I want to say 7 years. She saw me consistently every month, a few times a month, for 7 years. Well into almost when she was 30 years old. So, yeah. And because the sex was so good and her body was good. The only reason I had to end it, which is a common reason I had to end things with American women at least, is because she started gaining weight. And she started getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And finally she got so big, I just couldn't do it anymore. And as I've discussed before, that's not me being an asshole. Women don't understand that in order for men to have sex, we need to be physically aroused. Women do not need to be physically aroused in order to have sex if you have a bottle of lube standing by, right? Right. So a woman can have sex with a man she's not physically attracted to and make it work. We cannot have sex with a woman we're not physically attracted to because our dicks won't get hard. If our dicks don't get hard, we can't have sex. So it's just if you don't like it, as I say, blame God for designing that system the way it is. So she just got too fat. Still a very nice person. Matter of fact, to this day, it's been many years since I've seen her. We will occasionally communicate. But anyway, you see my point. So this was, if you compare this woman to the first woman I described, the first woman is superior in every way. Physical attractiveness, at least her face, intelligence, personality, spending time, fun to be with, fun to talk to, off the charts better than this second woman. But the second woman was an amazing experience for me because we were sexually compatible. Now, not just because she was sexually compatible, she was also cool with non-monogamy, me having sex with other women. She never complained once about me hooking up other girls. Awesome. She never left me when she got a boyfriend. About 3 times in there, she would get a boyfriend, but keep seeing me. Usually what women do is they dump you, they get a boyfriend. After a few months, they either dump the boyfriend or maybe then cheat on the boyfriend and come back to you after several months or a year, especially younger women. But she was one of these unique women where she would get boyfriends, but keep seeing me. And by the way, if you're wondering, this was not sugar baby, sugar daddy stuff. This was normal dating. I never paid her a dime. 7 years. And the biggest reason for that is because we were sexually compatible. And now, I'll give you the reverse of this. Was it her fault that we were sexually compatible? Did she sit down and say, okay, Caleb likes this during sex. So during sex, I'm gonna do this, do this, do this, and do that. And I'm not gonna do this, 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 or this. No, it was purely natural. The first time we had sex, we both knew we were sexually compatible. And I'm sure you've had that experience. You have sex with them the very first time, or maybe the first 2 or 3 times, you're like, God damn, this is fucking great. She likes exactly what I like. She makes the exact sounds that I like. She does the exact positions I like. The vibe of the sexual experience is exactly what I like. And she doesn't have to try, that's just how she is. So same deal here. It's not like she sat down and manipulated me. She wasn't smart enough to do that, frankly. That's just how she was. That gives you an example of how important sexual compatibility is. Now let me give you something else. There are men out there, and hopefully you're not one of them, but maybe you are. Some of you guys are. I've gotten your emails. I've spoken to a few of you about this. There are men out there who will take women they're not sexually compatible with, or not 100% sexually compatible with, and not only make them MLTRs, they'll make them their OLTR. They're actually getting a serious, or God forbid, monogamous LTR, which you shouldn't do. They'll make these women their girlfriends. And God forbid they'll move in with these women, or in some cases marry these women. And they're not sexually compatible. What the fuck are you doing? Don't do that. One of the baseline requirements for a woman who becomes your OLTR, and that means she is your girlfriend, that is the alpha male 2.0 version of a girlfriend, where you have committed to her emotional exclusivity, but you can still hook up with women on the side, as long as they're just FBs. You can't date other women, but you can have sex with other women. That's what I have. I have an OLTR wife. I'm married. One of the requirements for this woman is that she must be very sexually compatible with you. Now, she doesn't need to be 100% compatible, but she needs to be at least 90%, 85%, 90%, right? She needs to be that. That's really, 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 really important. That is a core component of your relationship. And unfortunately, we live in an era, and this doesn't really apply to Europeans, but certainly applies to Canadians, Australians, and certainly Americans, is that we downplay the importance of sex in a relationship or in a marriage. We downplay to worry about that is frivolous and immature, and it's about whether or not someone's a soulmate and whether or not she'll make a good mother for your children. No, you dumb fuck. One of the core components of a long-term relationship is sexual compatibility. And if you don't have that with a woman, absolutely she should not be your OLTR. And you'll notice, if I don't have that with a woman, I don't see her at all. This first woman I described who was amazing but not sexually compatible with me, I didn't say, oh, well, she'll make a good FB. I'll just have her as an FB. No. Why would I do that? She didn't even get that far. I'm not going to have sex with any woman who is not sexually compatible with me. I'm not going to do it. And to be fair, it's not a binary on-off thing. It's not, is she compatible or not? There's probably a percentage, right? So Pink Firefly, my wife, do you think she's sexually compatible with me? Yes. Now, is she 100%? No, I would put her at about the 90%, 93%, somewhere in there, really, really close to 100%. That's fine. You don't need your OLTR or future OLTR or even MLTR to be 100% compatible, just very, very compatible. If Pink Firefly was only 40% compatible sexually with me, she would have never gotten past FB. If she wasn't compatible with me at all, like that first woman I described, we wouldn't even gone past the first or second sexual experience. I'm not going to do that. You see what I'm saying? Matter of fact, I'll double down on that. She really doesn't need to be 100% compatible, because in an OLTR, you can have sex with other women. So whatever that piece that she has sexually that it may be missing that you like, so you love having sex with your OLTR, but there's 2 or 3 things that you don't like or a little off or missing or whatever you don't like as much, you can do those things with your FBs on the side. That's the beauty of non-monogamous relationships, is that you don't have to have this one woman be a 100% perfect answer in all the areas, which is the problem with monogamy. When you get long-term monogamous with a woman, certainly if you get married to a woman, she has to be amazing in all areas, right? She has to be amazingly good looking to you. The sex needs to be amazing. The personality needs to be amazing. Everything has to be amazing, because you'll never be allowed to have sex with another woman while you're with her. Kind of fucking stupid. So you remove that limitation when you have non-monogamy, so she doesn't have to be 100% compatible, but mostly compatible. If you are currently in a relationship right now, and some of you guys are, with a woman who is not compatible with you, I don't care if she's your wife, I don't care if she's your girlfriend, I don't care if she's an MLTR, so when you're dating, or an FB, just casual sex, you need to let her go. Because that's not going to, I'm sorry, that's not going to work long term. It's going to barely even work short term. But Caleb, she's so amazing, she's so fun to hang out with. Then great, friend zone her. Make her your friend zone buddy. Fine, do that. I'm not a proponent of friend zone, and maybe I'll do a podcast on that because I've written articles about that. But at worst case scenario, make her your platonic friend zone chick, Or maybe a wing woman and have her help you get chicks. Do something like that, but don't have sex with her. Why are you having sex with someone you're not compatible with? Because she's so awesome, Caleb. Then find someone who is so awesome who you're sexually compatible with. For fuck's sake, there's 3.5 billion women on the planet Earth. You probably live in a city of millions and millions of people. That means there are hundreds of thousands of women who you would find attractive to have sex with. Why are you putting up with this one who isn't sexually compatible with you? And also, second piece to this, when you meet new women and have sex with new women, if you find that you're not sexually compatible with them on the first or maybe the second time you have sex with her, again, don't be afraid to gently, nicely, politely let her go. I've done it. And by the way, this isn't the only time I've experienced this. I've experienced this a few other times with a few other women. This is just an extreme example because she was so amazing on that first date. But don't be afraid to do that. Have high standards for yourself. Fucking hell. This goes back to only have sex with women you find really attractive. Same kind of mindset. Only have sex with women you find really attractive, and only have sex with women who are sexually compatible with you. They don't have to be 100%, but close. Very simple. So think about this. Don't tolerate low quality shit in your life. That includes sex. Sex is super critical. It is a core part of Alpha Male 2.0. I talk about in The Unchained Man at alphamalebook.com how one of the two wheels on your motorcycle is money and sex. And you need those two things in your life to make everything else in your life as a man work. Cool? Cool. I'll talk to you very soon. Think about this. Do this. Have fun. Bye.